What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talking Blue. I'm Matthew Mooney alongside Luke Langella. So we're back today. Yesterday was the deadline for Saquon Barkley to sign a long-term extension. Both sides failed to get it done. It's a big shame because he was really the offense of last season, and I don't know how much longer he's going to be with the team. And I think if we lose him, possibly this season, it's going to be a huge blow to the offense. What do you think about that, Luke?
Well, I think the Giants. I think they proved the point here. You see only 1 to 2 million part. That's not a big difference. But the Giants proved the point. They were going to give what they were going to give, and if he didn't take it, then whatever. And he is a big part of the offense. There's no denying it. 1,300 yards, over total 1,500 scrimmage yards last year. It's just huge numbers. A huge red zone threat as well. But you know what? I think you're right. The future of him with the Giants, I think, is bleak. He signs a franchise tag. A lot of guys, I think he's going to play this year, but I think he's going to be annoyed. I could see him venturing off next year if the Giants don't offer him more money. But that will all take time. I found it very interesting him saying it is what it is. Obviously, he's not going to report to training camp, but I assume he's going to suit up and play the season. He'd be silly not to. I think you could agree with that, right, Matthew?
Yeah, I 100% agree. He'd be stupid not to. And if he doesn't, anytime he doesn't play in the game, he loses $600,000, which I think is a fair penalty. What do you think about that, Luke?
Oh yeah, he's paid in this game to play football. So he has to go to the games. There's no you're still making $10 million. The Giants offered you a contract with security, and he didn't want that. So that was his decision. He doesn't get secure. Well, he tears his ACL this year. His career is probably over. So he's playing for a lot this year, not only with the Giants but with future teams. Because after not reaching a deal, who knows if he'll really want to be a Giant next year. I'm sure he'll be annoyed with them, but I'm proud of the Giants for not budging and giving in. I felt like to Dexter Lawrence and Daniel Jones, they kind of gave in. I think those two are two great players, but I think they were overpaid. And I think you didn't want to overpay Saquon.
Yeah, you're right there. Honestly, if I were Saquon, I'd be pretty upset because I think he should have gotten at least $14 million. I think that would have been a perfect contract, 4 year, $56 million, $14 million per year. But if I were him, I'd be really pissed off because seeing what happened with Kenny Galladay, he gets a $72 million contract just show up to practice, not care at all, and just try to collect his paycheck and walk out of there. If I were him, I would be very pissed off. What do you think?
Yeah, and you understand he's annoyed and all, but he didn't want to sign the contract, and it's all this. He could have signed the contract and felt secure, maybe made maybe a few less millions, but you would have had that security. Now you're an injury away from your career being over. But you know what? I think the Giants did what they had to do. Kenny Galladay, a prime example, and Daniel Jones, he's your future. Dexter Lawrence, he's a future guy. Saquon Barkley, injury. So, he's not necessarily the future of your running back room. So he's getting up there. So, I think that it was a well executed move by the Giants, even though it would have been better with cap if we had gave him a contract. But it just wasn't gonna happen. So
Yeah, you're right. Also, after this season, it's pretty scary for the Giants. We have four big free agents on the roster that could potentially be gone after the season, and they are Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Xavier McKinney. Oh, actually, more Andrew Thomas and Adoree Jackson. And
I really, that's interesting you say that. Guys like, I think Andrew Thomas is the biggest guy on that list. But me personally, I wouldn't be that upset if we lost Leonard Williams or Adoree Jackson. Leonard Williams just, he's been great, and this is a big year to prove it. But last year he was horrible with the injuries, and Adoree again, his healthiness has always been a question for the Giants. So Xavier McKinney, he's young, and I think he has a great potential, but the other two guys, I just haven't seen enough from them, and I think they have really big years coming up this year.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I think, I hope all five of them get extensions, but it's gonna be hard. No, I have no idea how much cap space we're gonna have next season, but I'm assuming it's not gonna be a lot, and it's gonna be hard because we're gonna have a few of those guys gone after the season.
Yeah, Gio Shane and Brian did a show though. They did a great job with the contracts this year. I think they executed Saquon's well again. So you know what, that will all be they always figure it out.
Yeah, it is what it is. Another topic I want to talk about is who will be the second linebacker next to Bobby Okereke. Will it be a
Yeah,
guy we currently have or someone we don't have that we will sign in free agency?
yeah. So I think it could go either way. I think next to Okereke, you have Mickey McFadden who played he played last year. He made some mistakes, but I don't think he was put in the right situations. He wasn't ready, but you know what? He's going to be coming into his second year. I think he's developed properly. He can be good. You always have Jalen Smith available. You got Landon Collins there too. Those are guys you always would pick up mid-season, whatever. You have there's a lot of possibility. A guy like Deion Jones you could pick up. Miles Jack. But I really like Mika McFadden how he carried himself. Through a rough year. Obviously, the linebacker we wanted, officially just went on the IR today. So that's never a good thing. So what's your opinion on that, Matt?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be hard since Gerard Davis is on the IR. I know he's not necessarily one of our key players, but it's going to be a blow to our depth for the middle linebacker position. But
Well, let's just remember, Gerard Davis started last year. The Giants picked him up, and he started in the last 3 games of the year. He played, so I think he would be a big part of the defense this year.
yeah, I mean you're technically right, but I barely even heard his name until the playoffs. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, but you got Beavers, you got McFadden, and those are two younger players, and if they're going to be next to a great middle linebacker and Bobby Okereke, and if they're developed properly, that can be great.
I 100% agree with you. And if we can possibly sign someone free agency or possibly trade for Cardinals inside linebacker slash safety Isaiah Simmons, that would
I
be
would,
huge.
yeah. You've been talking about all these rumors. I've been saying no, no. You're right. I would not be shocked to see the Giants go out and sign someone, trade someone, especially right now with you not having really a solid middle linebacker besides Okereke. You're right. You could definitely see the Giants making a move right now, and I think it's the right time. Free agents, you could sign a free agent or make a trade. I'd say now's the time, right before camp. Have a guy get in there, learn the system, and be ready for September.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think if the Giants can add one of these guys, I know I just named Isaiah Simmons, but either Deion Jones, Miles Jack, Zach Cunningham, or Kyle Van Ney will be stacked with defense.
You're talking Cal Van Noy, right?
Yeah,
The
no, my
corner.
bad.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. That could be definitely a good move. But I think the Giants like what McFadden put up last year, and I think everyone knows the potential of Beaver. So in that essence, you may see the Giants take more of a death move there and stick with what they got. I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants go that route either. We've seen them do it in the past that way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think adding one of those guys will make really good depth for the middle linebacker position. We have good depth for most positions. I would say running back, wide receiver, tight end, defensive line, middle linebacker, and I would say safeties and corners.
Defense, yeah, defensive backs have good depth too as well.
Yes, not just corners, but the safeties as well. Xavier
Yeah,
McKinney, Bobby McCain, Dane Belton, and Jason
I
Pinnock.
think you're right. Also, or really our whole linebacker group could use some depth. You look besides Thibodeau, Ward, and Aziz, that's really, your whole linebacker. Obviously, we have O'Shane Zimenez too, but our whole linebacker core in general could use depth. So, I would say it's the perfect time to go make a move and try to bring in another linebacker.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I feel like the Giants are going to need another middle linebacker to really go off. And I look at the Giants can also sign another outside linebacker that could be huge because our edge is literally just Thibodeau and Aziz. I mean, Jihad Ward's good. Don't get me wrong, but
And then don't forget about O'Shane Zimenez, who did sign an extension, and he had that strip sack against Aaron Rodgers last year against Green Bay and London. He's always played a decent amount. Never been a starter, but he's always rotated in for the Giants.
yeah, I agree with you. And with the Giants, unlike most teams, it's a rotating system. It's not really just one or two guys who are constantly out there. It's just a few guys at a time who switch on and off. Most organizations would think it would be bad for a roster that will have guys switching on and off and not just one set starter. But honestly, for the Giants, I think it's actually pretty good, though. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. The Giants have had injuries in the past, so it's always good, not to have guys out there the whole time, especially when you have guys that could, go behind them. We talk about the receiver core all the time. Someone's tired, someone's hurt. There's no concerns this year with the Giants, and there shouldn't be any excuses. The Giants receiver core is loaded, and that's just the point we're trying to make here is that a rotating system in that essence works because guys should never be tired, guys shouldn't be hurt because there's always going to be a guy that's solid, behind them. So you're definitely right on that one.
Yeah. I also want to quickly announce I will be attending training camp on July 27th. In case any of you guys are there, let me know. I'll be posting a video there, so if you see me, come say hi. And yeah, we are also hosting a fantasy football league. If you want to join, email us first come first serve. We'll put our email up on the screen right now. talkingblue83@gmail.com. It'll also be in the description down below. So go email us about the league, or if you want to talk to us about anything related to the Giants, we'll be here.
Yeah. So also we're excited. Preseason games and then regular season right around the corner.
Yeah, I'll be at both preseason games versus the Panthers and the Jets. Hopefully, I can see some of you guys there. And yeah, my one last thing before we close this out is I have a mock trade for Isaiah Simmons. This could potentially happen. We send over a 5th-round pick in the draft this year and a conditional 7th. What do you think about that, Luke?
I think that's a great trade. We look at Isaiah Simmons, and he's been good, but definitely not exactly as well as he was expected out of college. So I think he's been a little bit of letdown. So I think giving a 5th and a 7th is fair value, and I could definitely see a team like the Cardinals, a team that's going through a semi rebuild, taking that and putting it to good use because at the end of the day, they need more draft picks, and I say Simmons, he hasn't been bad or anything, but he definitely wasn't that great player, that great hybrid player that he seemed like he'd be coming out of college.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like it would be also good for the Giants as well if they have a guy who could play middle linebacker and safety, kind of like Landon Collins in a way, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that one.
Any closing statements?
No, that's it for me. Yeah, we're gonna keep on posting content, keep on liking whatever, and we're excited for preseason and regular season right around the corner.
So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a few friends, whatever you're watching on, and yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully sometime next week. Let's go Giants!